Hello everyone, how are we all doing? And yes, I've gone and done it. I finally bought possibly the worst computer that was ever made, ever produced, and ever sold. It is, of course, the Mattel Aquarius. And what a delightful thing it is. But before we get too involved with it, this is just a little quick video. I shall do a proper video later. But it's just arrived today, so I thought it'd be nice to have a quick look. So, I've never used one of these machines. I've never seen them for sale. Not that I remember anyway. It's possible they were out and about when I was a kid, but I don't really remember them. What I do remember is these things being for sale in fairs, markets, car boot sales, that sort of thing, second-hand markets. And they'd sell for usually 10 or 20 or 30 pounds or something. And that would have been the mid-80s. Now I do remember seeing them boxed, and I remember there being a lot of them. Not, dozens, but there would be, every sale you went to or every market, there would be at least one or two of them, if not three. So they were about when I was a kid. But that was my only exposure to them. I knew nothing about them. I've never used one. I've never turned one on. But it sparked my curiosity, even as a kid. I was a Sinclair Spectrum and Commodore 64 user back in the day, so I never really paid much attention to them. I just remember seeing them second-hand. Now, as the years have gone by, I've looked again and again at various oddball computers, and I do like oddball computers because no matter how bizarre, odd, and useless they are, every machine has a redeeming feature. Usually. And the redeeming feature of this is it was cheap. Is that fair to say? I think it's fair to say. But anyway, this is the Mattel Aquarius 1. There was lots of bump about a Mattel Aquarius 2 and a Mattel Aquarius 3. I think the 2 was released, but the 2 just became an upgraded version 1, which was pretty much exactly the same. And the version 3 was going to be the big upgrade, but of course that was never released because the company went under and all the rest of it. It didn't sell well. It was a sales disaster. It caused Mattel to pull out of the computer market, and that was the end of it. I think the rights were bought back to Radifin, as I remember. But again, I shall look into this in more detail when I do a proper video. This is just a quick vid. As I'm quite excited, actually, in a strange, bizarre way, to get one of these things. It was relatively cheap. Ooh. We even have a cassette. A TDK-90. Now that brings back all kinds of memories. Anyway, the mission, whatever that is. Yeah, it's pretty naff. But this is a mains operated Aquarius. I presume it has, ports on the back, so that would work on any machine, which is quite handy because I could use that on my TI and Spectrum and various other things. So there's not much to say about that. It's a cassette deck. So let's look at the main culprit. Now the first thing I notice is, which I didn't notice when I bought it, 16K RAM. The machine only came with, it was very much like a VIC-20. It came with, I think, 5K or something like that. And in basic, you had 1.5K to use. Something bizarre like that. Again, the figures may be wrong, but it's something like that. When I do a proper vid, I'll go into a bit more detail. I think these pop out somehow. Do they? Don't they? Who knows? Well, I thought they did. They slide out, I think. It's obviously had some stickers on it, and it's live. It's been packed away somewhere, so it needs a damn good clean. Ooh, it needs a very good clean. Well, it's got glue on it. Anyway, we have a power switch, which is impressive. We have a 3.5mm jack plug for a printer. How is that even possible? Anyway, the cassette has more pins than the printer. Anyway, So we have an RF out and a power lead which goes to a small power pack. I think that's it. Is there anything else? Nope. So we have no joysticks. We have nothing really. So what can we do here? We have a Mattel Aquarius model 4110 home computer. Quite interesting. It was quality control on the 24th, oh no, 24 ACC. I thought that was a date. I'm not sure what date these are, but I'll pull it apart at some point and have a look. Oh, 1982, there we go. Don't need to pull it apart. Hong Kong. These were in the days when things were made in Hong Kong and not China. I'm sure this pulls out. Oh, there we go. 1982, Hong Kong, MI. MI? Anyway, what's that say? Not a lot. Model 4215. No, I know they did a... oh, it's melted as well. What the hell's happened to this thing? It's been in a fire. I know they did an expansion pack on there that had, I think, 2 joystick ports and RAM. I think it might have been a mini expansion or mini expander or something. I seem to remember seeing that advertised. And it had 2 paddles or 2 joysticks coming from it. So it must have had a RAM and joystick ports as well, I guess. The fact that it doesn't have joystick ports means it's very much like a Spectrum or a ZX81, that sort of thing. Cheap and cheerful. Yeah, so there we are. We have the Mattel Aquarius. We have a little bit of literature. We have a guide. I'm sure if you're a Mattel Aquarius owner back in the day, do you remember these? Dear user, that's you, the proud new owner of a Mattel of an Aquarius home computer. Congratulations on a purchase that may prove to be the most valuable tool you ever buy. I suspect not, but anyway. So we've got that, excuse my big fat arm. Simplified instruction cards. Okay, this is the same sort of thing TI did. They had little pop-up cards. Create a graphic figure. Oh, anyway. Create a running man. Alright, so obviously the user of this didn't have many games because he's got that. So let's see what Peter Good's book looks like. If there's a little step in the video there, it's because I ran out of storage on my phone. So we have lots of basic. I don't know anything about the basic. I think it was Microsoft Basic, wasn't it? So that's that. And we have some magazines and things. Aquarius User, Issue 1, Volume 1. Now the sad thing is, this was probably... was this a free issue? And no further issues were purchased? Problem page. No information about my Aquarius. Price drop. There we go. I purchased my machine in August '83 through Great Universal. Rather annoyed, and it's now been sold for £50. Oh yeah. Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius. Oh, there we go. There's the expander. Oh, I didn't know it had 2 extra slots in there. Add-on electronics in Essex. Anyway, we'll go through these in more detail. We'll fire the machine up, get it running, and I'll do a proper vid. This was just a little introduction to have a look at the Mattel Aquarius in all its glory. Oh, what a delightful machine it is. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you in the next vid. Bye for now.